All right, everybody. Happy Thursday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I'm off headed to Columbus, Ohio for our event there in Columbus and then over to Jackson, Tennessee. So good to see everybody. And we're getting closer to Friday. I hope you've had a good week. So the word for today, and Andrea, who gave us the word? Somebody gave us the word.
Maria.
Maria gave us the word. Okay, okay. I'd scroll past. So thanks, Maria, for the word. It's really a really good one. The word's neglect. Neglect. If you look at the definition, it means to fail to give proper attention or care to something that deserves it. Would you say our health deserves not to be neglected? I think we would all agree. You think our kids deserve not to be neglected? I would think so. Grandkids. Like, so it was a pretty good thing for me today to read and study and look into, but it can be active, choosing to ignore. Like, that's one form of neglect, like actively choosing to ignore. Or it could be passive, like just simply letting something slip, like it's just slowly slipped through the cracks. I see this a lot in business. Like that passive, simply, it just starts to slowly slip through the cracks, right? And you stop, or I stop attending a call slowly, or getting together with people slowly, or not showing up to an event. And before you know it, you just slowly, incrementally drifted away from the thing that pays you. I also see it in my health that you could slowly, daily, incrementally slip and start putting not so great things like daily ice cream trips into your diet, right? And you're like, where is these love handles coming from? Well, they're coming from that ice cream daily, okay? So anyway, that's a pain point for me, but we'll get to that another day, Ron, okay? If there's any other ice cream lovers out there, just go ahead and put it in the comments, okay? It's good to confess every now and then. All right, so here's what it means to me. Neglect doesn't always start with a decision. It often starts with a distraction. Now, I'll tell you, normally a good bowl of ice cream, there's some stress in the day. And that little distraction of stress leads me down the road of a nice little bowl of Bluebell ice cream. John Frick, don't laugh. I know you like ice cream. So here's the thing. Sometimes it's the distraction, right? It's the distraction. And my mentor used to say, and it would just really make me mad. It just aggravated me. He would say, why didn't you do this? And I'd come up with this great excuse, the kids, I had to do this. And he'd say, it's okay. All excuses are equal. And I'm like, no, they're not all equal. My excuses are better, whatever you tell yourself, right? But a lot of times, distraction is what starts to create the neglect. And before I know it, I've just pulled away from the thing that at one point was urgent to me. At one point, I had goals, I had dreams, I had ambition. I was trying, and it's like, what happened? Distraction. And it led to neglect. And I started to slowly drift away from what's important. So where I went this morning is over time, sometimes we stop nurturing what once brought us joy, what once brought us success, what once brought us connection. I said it in the coaching profession. It was so interesting in coaching. You would start winning games, and sometimes you would get away from the playbook and you would start like winning games and start developing all these other plays. And you'd get to like week 10 and you're like, there's a couple of like great plays that I haven't ran in weeks because I've just neglected. I've gotten away from the basics. I've gotten away from what really helps us win, right? And so you might notice like neglect in different areas. Like in business, to me, not following up with clients, that's neglect. Failing to train your team. I put somebody in, and Alan, why can't they just go do it without me? Right? And I start neglecting the people I brought in. Um, I start ignoring systems that once worked. It doesn't work anymore. I start telling myself all these things. Now, in relationships, it's not communicating. Like, I start neglecting the communication. I start showing less appreciation for the other human and assuming they'll understand. And it just starts growing separation in that relationship incrementally. And then the last is self-care. Like in self-care, skipping rest, just neglecting that, ignoring mindset, like putting good material in my mind. I start neglecting mindset. I start pushing through exhaustion because I don't have time, right? Um, can't go exercise through the day because I've just got too much going on. Neglect. And we'll tell ourselves all kinds of things. I've got to be here. They need me. I can't do this. And I'm neglecting the thing that I will then regret at some point. So neglect is rarely, and this is, I came across this in reading, neglect is rarely dramatic. It's subtle. It hides behind good intentions and busy calendars. But over time, what we neglect starts to fade, it starts to weaken, and it starts to fall apart. And so the last thing is the good news. After all that, it's like, okay, quit being negative, Brent. It's Thursday. All right, I'm not being negative. I'm talking to myself. Like, the good news is the moment we notice it, we can reverse it. We can hit the reset button. That red reset button, that invisible button, hit it, and awareness turns neglect into renewal. Neglect creates, I mean, it's so that to me is what's so valuable is once I recognize it, then get back on the track, get back on the horse, get back on the train, okay? Because it's worth it to you. So, Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, great lesson, coach. I loved it. The most powerful part was the ice cream talk, and you should see the chat on the flavors that people like and all those things that I think that we really need to have.
But
We've got to plan this.
Buffy's going to make homemade ice cream today. She's like, "Okay, I'm getting the bucket out. I'm getting the bucket out."
Let's get her done. I think we need to have a coach's corner ice cream social. Uh,
Okay, we can do
so
that.
we got to put that on the list. So guys, you be thinking about where and when we'll meet up. So quote that I found was what you don't attend to will eventually leave you. And all I could think about there is, and this is whatever, welcome to my brain. I don't know why I think these things, but all I could think about is you're somewhere and there's like a stray dog, right? And you kind of want to keep it. And so, but you maybe you can't, you're getting on an airplane or whatever. And if you don't feed it, eventually the dog wanders off, right? And I think about so many things in our life. If we don't feed it, then it's going to eventually wander off, no matter how much it wants to stay right here with us. So the first thing that I looked into, and we'll see what I have time for because I kind of have two, but I don't know if I'll have time. But the first thing was, okay, how do we stop neglecting the things that truly matter? How do I make sure that I'm not doing that? So first of all, I've got to do a focus check. What areas in my life, in my business, in my health just feels a little bit ignored right now? Like if I slow down enough, right, to look around at the different pieces, what what do I know, right? If I check in that I am neglecting? So, which leads us to number 2 is to create small, consistent effort. Those 15 minutes of intentional time in our day will absolutely build momentum. So, I've just got to nurture those little, small, consistent efforts. Number 3 is to repair what's been overlooked. So if it's, let's say, in my relationship, well, I got to pick up the phone and say, oh my goodness, I haven't talked to you in 4.5 days and I adore you. Let's connect, right? Whatever it may be. I've got to reach out. I've got to follow up. I've got to show up because action will always heal neglect. Number 4 is I've got to take care of me. Neglecting myself is going to sabotage everything else I'm trying to build. So we got to make sure that we're putting that in the schedule. And I am stepping on my toes. My poor watch thought that I had perished yesterday because I don't think I moved from pretty much this spot. It was just one of those days. I absolutely neglected me. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. And then lastly, I've got to set reminders for priorities. So schedule the values, not just our tasks. That was hard for me to say. But so sometimes we look at that to-do list and it's the things that are kind of urgent or required, that kind of thing, but they're not the things that truly matter. So make sure I'm scheduling that. And then really quick, I think I've got time, is what are some of the things that I should neglect? Because neglect isn't always bad. Remember, if we ignore something, certain things, it will go away. And sometimes success will depend on ignoring the right things. So, what should we ignore? Drama and gossip, things that drain our energy and add zero value. And that doesn't mean I can ignore if there's a cause of drama, but I don't need to stir it up and I don't need to feed it. Number 2 is perfectionism. Progress is always better than perfection. So ignore that perfectionism. Next, I'm going to neglect comparison. My path isn't supposed to look like anyone else's. I think of so many times like we know that turtle and we know the hare, and that's a story we were told as children for a reason. All of our paths are going to look differently. Next is negative self-talk. That's just noise. It's not truth. Okay. Distractions posing as opportunities. If it doesn't align with your goals, it's clutter, it's noise, it's something that we can neglect. And lastly, Andrea, I'm talking to you. People pleasing. You can't fulfill your purpose if you're living for approval. If I'm just waiting for somebody else to give me that atta girl, well, I'm going to be fulfilling their purpose and not mine. So I need to neglect that. So, Maria, this is a great word today. I wasn't sure when I first looked at it, but I really loved it. So thank you so much. And thank you, Coach, for the great lesson.
This was a good one this morning, right? Neglect's not bad. We just gotta be a buzz in our ear when we see ourselves slacking. So, guys, happy Thursday to you. We love you so much. Have a great day out there. Find somebody today, make them have an awesome day because you showed up. We'll see you back tomorrow to close out the week.
Love you guys. Have a beautiful
Great
day.
day, everybody.
Love you
Love
guys
you guys.
too.
Great job
Bye.
bringing
Thank
it.
you.
Show love,
Thank
y'all, for the
you.
ice cream.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank you.
day.
Thank you. Have a good
Great
day.
word. Thank
Bye.
you.
Love
Coach.
ice
Thank you,
cream.
Andrea.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, y'all.
Great day,
Have a
all.
great
Very
day.
much.